Please stand and sing our opening song.
We're happy that you're here.
Here we go. God is my source.
God is my power.
Let me hear you.
Gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
God is my source.
God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. This is my source. This is my power. This gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need.
God is my
Source, God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Do it again. God is my source. God is my power.
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Do it again. Do it again. God is my source.
Oh! God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
God gives me
everything I need.
One more time.
God gives me everything I need. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Do you feel that?
Thank you, Michael.
We're so happy you're here. I'm beginning to see the seats filling up. That's a lovely thing. And welcome to all the folks that are on Zoom. And welcome to this beautiful Sunday as we have our opening prayer now. So I invite you to just sit in your chair and uncross your legs and your arms. And let's just take a deep breath in, aware of our consciousness. Aware that we have stepped into this sanctuary. This blessed sanctuary. And this is what I know for each and every one of us is the saving person. The mind of God is the only mind that exists. It is my mind right now. Let me just breathe in and be aware that my mind is the center
Good morning, everyone. Everyone here in the sanctuary, as well as those of you who are, I was starting to say at home, but you could be just about anywhere with a computer and ready to go. So welcome wherever you are. We have a couple of things that are going on this week, starting today. The Women's Circle is meeting here today, June the 5th, and they are excited to have their second meeting of the year. We continue on Tuesday with Reverend Kathy's book reading, which is continuing the book they have begun called Aladdin's Lamp or Your Inner Light. So check your program for details, but it meets right out there in the sanctuary foyer. And so those of you who are at home, it is just an in-person meeting only. We also have another in-person meeting, and it's yoga that's happening also on Tuesday. It is 11. Kathy's book reading is at 10. And this week, yoga is going to be right here in this sanctuary because something else is happening in Richelieu Hall. So bring your mats in and your stretching selves, and we will have yoga in the sanctuary this Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And that is in person, by the way, yes. And so on Wednesday, we have a meeting, a book reading that is only on Zoom. It is The Art of Life by Ernest Holmes, and it is at 9:45. If you've been before, then you probably have the link or on the email list. If not, you can get on. It doesn't matter when you join. We love to have extra people. The same thing with Reverend Kathy's in-person book reading. It doesn't matter if you haven't been before. You're welcome to be a part of that group. So moving also on Wednesday, we have a Wednesday morning service that is in person and streaming from YouTube. So that is at 11 o'clock. And this particular Wednesday, Reverend Kathy Sinfield is going to be our speaker. So as we move forward into the week, we have next Sunday, which is our guest speaker, the Reverend Kusala. He's an American-born Buddhist monk, and he's inspired us right here at the center before. You may remember him. He wears his robes when he speaks. He was also a guest at Arrowhead in 2019, if you can remember way back then. His talk's title is 3 Easy Steps to Bring Your Spiritual Practice to Life. So that's next Sunday right here on the platform. And also just a reminder about the Sisters Club, which is not meeting this month, but is going to meet in July. Now, we also have the yard sale coming up, and Mr. Mark is ready with some stuff. So let's see what he has to say.
Thank you, and welcome to the Hidden Treasures yard sale. The price is right. Do we have any contestants who'd like to guess the price of this item? Sir, why don't you come on up and guess the price of this item?
Oh, I've always wanted to meet you, Mr. Barker. Wow, that sure looks fancy. Is that an ancient Greek urn of some sort with genuine gold plating? God, that must be worth a fortune.
And your guess is?
I think $2,000.
That's a fantastic guess. Unfortunately, this is just a piece of pottery with some gold paint on it, and if we're lucky, maybe it's $5. So what this tells you is that the men's group has no idea what the price of these items are. So we need volunteers for Thursday as we set up and we get the stuff out to put prices on it. We need your help to make this success. We know you'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you think that audience volunteer was a plant? I do. I definitely do. Thank you all. This is going to be a great, great fun event. Of course, it is Saturday is when the big event is happening, but also next Sunday after service. So there'll be some things left, and some of us will be looking for some bargains as we go through that room. And so that brings us all the way to where we are now, and a reminder that we are so grateful that you're here. We're grateful that you're a part of this center. Those of us who were at Arrowhead last week just simply were awash in gratitude for each other, and we bring all of that back. So talk to somebody about that, because we're feeling very, very good about all the things that happen. We thank you for your donations. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for your messages, and we're so glad that you're here. And now I want to welcome up Michael Paul Smith, who is going to serenade us.
Yeah, man. Yes, it's me again. Hello, hello, Redondo Beach. Oh my gosh. You don't know how excited I was to come down this way. So good to see everybody. I've moved into San Diego area for the time being. So I drove down last night, and as usual, I got up a little late this morning. But I am so happy to be here. And I didn't know my friend was not here. So that's a little, there's a little void. Because my friend is not here, who I've known for over 40 years. And we were both very young at the time. Anyway, so much for that. So good to see everybody. Boy, hello, hello. Yeah. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the dark clouds that had me blind. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, such a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I have been praying for. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, such a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright day, it's such a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Keep clapping. Lonely ahead, nothing but blue skies. They're the bluest skies. Skies, they're the bluest, bluest sky. Oh yeah, man, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. I see you. Here is that rainbow I have been praying for. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, such a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright day, such a bright day in Redondo. Look all around, nothing but blue sky. Let's look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. They're the bluest skies, bluest skies. They're the bluest, bluest sky. Oh yeah, man, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. I see you. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, such a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, 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 bright day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 a bright, woo, yeah, man. It's gonna be a bright, shiny day. Oh, yeah, man. Ivy. Ha ha.
Well, good morning. I can hear clearly now that that was a fantastic song. Thank you, Michael Paul Smith. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to provide today's Science of Mind lesson based upon Reverend Mary's topic, the mind-body connection. It's basic to Science of Mind that there is a connection between mind and body. Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind, wrote at page 99 of the text, "It may yet be proven that the mind completely controls the body and that the body is but a reflection of the mind." Our conscious minds controls our bodies. Voluntary movement, right? I thought about that. Involuntary movement, heartbeat, hormone production, breathing, that's all part of the subconscious, but it's all part of the one mind. I believe that our thoughts are heard by every cell in our bodies. Those thoughts that we dwell on can affect how our bodies react. Fear increases adrenaline. Anxiety and worry can manifest in ulcers and other diseases. On the other hand, meditation can reduce blood pressure and depression. And we have all heard of the placebo effect, where we're told that this medicine will cure us. We take it, and sure enough, we feel better. But it was simply a placebo, a sugar-based tablet, because it was really our minds that was healing the illness. Ernest Holmes, again, is clear on this point on page 190. Quote, "We understand that health is a mental as well as a physical state. We seek to heal one's mentalities, knowing that to the degree in which we are successful, we shall also be healing their bodies." So, knowing that there is a mind-body connection, and knowing that health is mental as well as physical, how best can we use our mind and thoughts to bring about our well-being? Again, the founder of Science of Mind, Dr. Holmes, has the answer in his book, This Thing Called You. If you spend all of your time saying, "I am poor, weak, sick, miserable, and unhappy," you will attract poverty, weakness, and unhappiness. He tells you, use your intellect, imagination, and feeling for the purpose of seeing and sensing joy instead of unhappiness, health in place of disease. Turn your mind entirely from the condition and think in an exactly opposite manner. I can see clearly now it's going to be a wonderful day. Thank you, Mike. But what do we do? We tell our story of woe, our condition, over and over again to ourselves, to our family, to our friends. If somebody says, "Hey, how you feeling?" "Oh, let me tell you." And what do we get? We spend so much time on this tale of woe and the conditions that we get to the point where we own it. "Oh, I have a ba 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 ba," or "my yada 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 is acting up." We own the condition, so we manifest it. Esther and Jerry Hicks, in their book, The Law of Attraction, explain when you see something that you do not want to experience and you shout, "No, no, I do not want that," through your attention to it, you invite that into your experience. Close quote. So we want to focus on what we want to experience. Ernest Holmes again provides a key to a successful mind-body connection. Quote, in each separate treatment or statement of truth, believe that the work is already accomplished. Your treatment is really complete when your entire subject reaction complies with, responds to, or embodies the spirit and the meaning of the words you use. So, what will your statement of truth be? Telling your story of woe, or thoughts and words of what you want to bring into your life and experience? If you want life and health, focus on the good. This is the statement of truth from Ruth, and so it is. Thank you.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
Right here, right where I am. I breathe as slowly as feels right for me. And I do go deeper. I go deeper. I invite you to open your body as you open your mind. Uncross, open. Feel the openness in body as well as in mind. Balance your body as you balance your mind. Find the peace and the harmony in the balance of your body as well as the body of your mind. And adjust anything that makes you more comfortable, more open, more receptive, that brings your being into balance, into comfort, into peace. This is a time of stillness. God speaks to us in the stillness. So as we breathe in slowly, allowing that spirit-filled breath to fill every cell in our body, we listen. We're ready. What wonder do we have that we open to spirit and wonder? Take a moment to wonder and listen. And so as I listen to Spirit's voice, and I know that that voice doesn't stop in this moment, it continues. And I know that as I fill my mind with the idea that God truly is all there is, I am God expressing. And I snatch moments from my day to pause and breathe and listen. The messages that come to me throughout this service, throughout my day, I am open and I am receptive. The wonder that I may have had comes to me. It comes to me from music. It comes to me from words. It comes to me from conversation. And it comes to me from the beautiful presence that we feel in this room, right here, right now. So I breathe in, and I release anything that I don't need, anything that I don't need to carry forward, whatever it is. I easily say yes to this moment, to this day. I say yes to Spirit's message and know that it is tailor-made just for me. And I am grateful. I am grateful to be here right now in openness and receptivity and with the idea that I am God expressing all the time. I just say yes, yes, and so it is.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Again, thank you all for being here. Our guest speaker today is not really a guest, is she? She is the Reverend Mary Morgan, and she is coming to us full of energy and full of ideas. And I'm suspecting she may talk a little bit about Arrowhead, because we were all so affected by the experience there. And there she is, and I'll just turn it right over to her, and Arrowhead.
So they were like, wow, okay. So pastor comes over and Johnny says, I have some questions to ask you about your sermon today. And he said, okay. He said, you said that from dust we come. He goes, well, that's right, Johnny, from dust we come. He goes, and then you said, after we pass, then it's dust we return to. And he goes, that's right, you're a very good listener. I'm glad you paid attention. And he goes, well, and he goes, now why are you so worried about that? And he said, because, Pastor, you need to come over to our house, because if you looked under my bed and on the shelves in our living room, there's a lot of people coming and going out of our house, right? It kind of wakes people up to paying attention to. Today, my talk is about the body-mind connection. We could say the mind-body connection or vice versa. But I'd like you to listen to this affirmation. Pardon me. My mind is a center of divine operation. Just let that soak in for a second. My mind is a center of divine operation. So now repeat it with me. My mind is a center of divine operation. Now look at your neighbor and say to them, your mind is a center of divine operation. Do you believe it? That's what this whole teaching is based on. That's the whole basis of our teaching right then and there. That quote came from Thomas Troward, and Thomas Troward, as you know, was a great philosopher, a major influence on many of Ernest Holmes' writings. In fact, some people say he even borrowed Thomas Troward's writings as his own. But what it comes from is saying that the universe is always based on expansion. It's always based on the idea that something more is coming, that there's a fuller expression that the universe wants us to operate under. And so it's always pulling us towards our dream, more towards, I'm going to bend this a little bit, Grant, I'm sorry. Okay, better? Okay. I know, and I apologize, I guess the microphone wasn't on for the prayer, but you all got it anyhow, you got the energy. So the world in which we live in, and this religious science, this science of mind, invites us to wake up to the fact that there's more calling us. Not that you're a bad dog, that you haven't done enough, but that when you express the truth of who you are, there's so much more for the world to open up to you, right? So in religious science, it's based on spiritual principles. And those spiritual principles are basically the pathway and the blueprint that we give to the universe and that the universe gives to us of, this is how to make things work. This is our proof that things do work too, because by faith, by our emotions, by our visions, we will, I'm so sorry, this is driving me nuts. There, better. Okay, that we will create the life that we desire. So I ask you, are you living the life you desire? Yeah? Okay. Some of you need to tell your face that you're living the life that you desire, because you're like, yeah, I sure am. Boy, I sure am living the life I desire. Or some of you are looking around like at your neighbor like, I don't know, am I living the life I don't know, are you? Are you? Because we question it, don't we? You kind of try to figure out, what's the more that I'm supposed to be paying attention to now, right? What is that? So I have this story of a fisherman. And some of you may have heard it before, but I think it's so appropriate for now. So there's a young guy, and he's going to go fishing. And he hears about this stream, and he's been told, there is an expert fisherman that always goes to this stream. So you got to pay attention to him, because he'll give you some tips on how to get the best fish in the continent. So he's like, okay, great. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to position myself upstream from the guy that fishes. So he's upstream and he's catching fish, and he's looking down at the guy downstream, and he's watching the guy can cast. Oh my God, he's doing fantastic. And he's noticing that this guy is catching a lot of fish, but sometimes he looks at him and then he throws them back. So this kid's scratching his head going, my God, there's just a multitude of fish here. Why is he throwing them back? Does he know something I don't? Is there some contamination? Is there something wrong? So at the end of the day, he packs up his gear and he goes down to the fisherman. He goes, hey, could I ask you a question? Sure. He said, I've been watching you all day and I saw you catch like a bazillion fish, but some of them you threw back and I don't get it. So he held up his fishing pole and he said, you see this mark on my pole? That's the size of my frying pan. And if the fish don't fit in my pan, they go back. And the kid was like, oh, okay. So what's the moral of that story? The moral is, sometimes we put limitations on the universe, don't we? Sometimes we say, I can only have so much. Or sometimes the universe brings us something great and wonderful, and we go, wow, it's awesome and I appreciate it, but somewhere in our heart of hearts, we don't feel like we're worthy enough yet. Our little vision of ourself is not expansive enough to accept in that good. And you go, oh yeah, sure, that's a nice story. But guess what? Have you ever had a friend look at you and go, hey, let me take you to lunch? And you go, oh, thanks, I'm good. Hey, let me give you a ride. I'll give you a ride to the store. I'm going to the store. Can I pick that up for you? No, thanks a lot. I'll get it later. See how we pass? We pass on our good. Our good's coming to us all day long, and the universe is saying, let me give this to you. And we say, thanks, I think I've got it covered, because we think we have to do it all by ourselves, don't we? We forget that there's this power that says, hello, I'm here for you, whatever you want. You've got to declare it, though, because you do have to declare it, don't you? We have to know what it is that we want. I have this saying, and I'm going to read it because I couldn't memorize it. And I thought, well, I can't memorize it because it must be true for me. You know how that is. We don't want to know what we really do know because we don't want to have to do what we have to do to be that person. Rinse and repeat. We don't want to know what we really do know because we don't want to have to do what we have to do to be that person, to live into that. Feel that? And I went, oh, thanks. Got that one. And what does that mean? That sometimes we may have a great vision, and then the vision says, okay, now I need you to step up, and these are some of the things, come on, step into this, and you're like, oh, wait, I have to do that? Oh, no, I was comfortable here in my recliner, and we get comfortable, don't we? And there's nothing wrong with being comfortable, but it's that if we want that vision to expand, it's important to know what it is you want and to be able to step into that life. When you don't listen to the still small voice, it has a way of coming around and creating some havoc in your life because this is what you've requested and then you've turned it away. So, up at Lake Arrowhead, we did a silent nature walk. How many folks went to Arrowhead? Let's see your pause. We had a blessed blast, didn't we? I mean, it was like a love fest. Honestly, it was. It was really, really moving for me and for a lot of people. So we did this divine nature walk, and we do it silently, which always panics me because I have a tendency to be a wordy bird. So I brought some purple duct tape with us to make it more appealing. We didn't have to use it, but it was just the reminder, like, hey, I've got some duct tape if you need it, to be quiet. But the deal is there's something about going out in nature, just being able to hug a tree without looking like a real fruitcake and feeling the energy of it, or looking up at its giant branches, or seeing the compatibility of a giant pine tree next to a little baby oak. I mean, it was just moving. And to go out in that nature, it reminds us of our own nature, doesn't it? It reminds us to get in touch with, wow, there is a natural order of things. And if I be quiet rather than going to God with my big wish list and just be quiet and let things happen, things evolve in such a sweet and gentle and kind way, don't they? It's so different than going to God and saying, listen, I'm going to do this. Now, Henry David Thoreau knew something about that, didn't he? In Walden Pond, he went it was 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days, and I don't know how many minutes, but his whole point of going to Walden Pond was, he said, to live deliberately. And I thought, gee whiz, you know what? When we were up there at Lake Arrowhead, we lived deliberately. We ate a lot, too. We did eat a lot, and it was great food. But we did take a different perspective onto what was going on. So nature has a way of bringing out our own divine nature. So I thought about this, that think about just on your drive over here, how many beautiful trees and bushes and flowers and palm trees and everything we drive by, we don't even pay attention to them. There's beautiful jacarandas blooming. Don't even give them the time of day. Like, God, I'm going to turn left at this light. We're busy on a mission. And I thought, when we take time to really dig deep into what does nature have to say to us that reminds, and it's a beautiful love song that it reminds us, isn't it? It comes back to us with a message of, it's all okay. No matter what you're going through, it's all okay. You're fine just the way you are. You know what? That oak tree, that pine tree that I was hugging, they didn't care if my hair was messed up, or if I didn't have makeup on, or if I had duct tape on, or if I didn't. It was just present. It was just this silent solemnness that was like, it was moving. And many of us were out in the woods crying. And of course, as people were crossing on the trail looking at us like, what's going on? It didn't matter. It didn't matter because it was so moving. So there's a story about Ernest Holmes. They say that it was told by Dr. Bill Hornaday, and he said Ernest Holmes was putting on his shoes one day, and his shoe had a knot in it. And he was struggling with the knot, and he finally looked down and said, hey, shoelace, you're a string, you're not a knot, so straighten up. And with that, he undid it. And I thought, boy, when was the last time I told my shoelaces to straighten up and had a result? And think about it. We can do that. This teaching reminds us that this power is very receptive to what it is, but we have to declare it, we have to believe it, we have to know it, we have to feel it, and we have to also be receptive to it, don't we? Because sometimes things show up and we just say, sorry, I'm not home. Oh, I got to run to the store. Thanks. And we walk away from it. But our good is always calling to us if we pay attention to what it's calling to us. I just want to let you know I have about 40 pages here, but I will not share them all with you. So the teaching reminds us that we may not know what we're going to face in the future, but we do know how we're going to face it, don't we? This teaching reminds us you go there with a thought of releasing your sense of limitation and opening up to the expansiveness of who you are. We find miracles happening, don't we? We find answers in our life that we would have never thought of on our own. Is there anybody else that has ever had that happen other than me? I mean, that where you go, oh my gosh, I would have never thought of that. What a great idea. Look at how the universe provided this for me. So our next question is that we ask ourselves, does what I'm thinking make me feel more expansive, or does it make me feel more closed in? And that's all you have to do. Just check in with your thought. Where am I at with this thought? Is it making me feel open? This teaching reminds us that we align ourselves in that harmony of the goodness of life, right? To be a part of that energy. And that energy wakes you up to go out there and be this great self. How that works is we start to train ourselves from our vision. From our vision rather than from our condition. You know, many times we may go to God and say, oh, I've got this problem and I've got that problem and I've got that. It doesn't mean that you don't have that issue. It doesn't mean that at all. But what it does mean is say, wait a second, put that on the back burner for a second. Go into your vision, right? Come from the dream rather than trying to go to it. And when you come from the dream, it already exists. You're just bringing it into manifestation. Now that sounds easy. I just think it and I make it so. Pretty much, yeah, that's right. But it takes practice, doesn't it? You know, when we go to the gym and we work out, or you're running and you're learning how to run a little further and further, you can't go out and run 5 miles. You will be winded unless you're a superhero. But you have to build, don't you? You have to build your lungs up. You have to build your weights up to the point where you're strengthening that area. And when you do that, the universe sends you exactly what it is that you're looking for. You know, our minds don't know the difference between our imagination and what's real. Did you know that? Our mind doesn't know the difference between what we imagine and what's real. You don't believe me? I've done this before, but I want you to think this. I want you to think of a nice, juicy lemon. Think of a nice, big, juicy lemon, and now you're taking your knife and you're cutting that lemon, and you just cut yourself a little slice and you're going to put it up to your mouth. What happened? What happened? Did you pucker? Yeah, because in your mind you were tasting a lemon. Was the lemon there? It's not. So think about that next time when you're trying to create something for yourself. Just go, oh, this is just another slice of lemon that I'm going to imagine in my mind. And it makes it easier. You know, if you're creating the life you want to create, we use our imagination, don't we? Just use your imagination to vision whatever it is that you desire. How do we develop our consciousness? Through faith, through understanding, through practice, and through trust. You have to practice it. It's a practice, this teaching. It is the science of mind that says, for every action, there is a reaction. It is a scientifically proven fact. If A, then B is C, right? So then we have to surrender to that vision, don't we? Because sometimes we say, oh, God, I want this vision, and here I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it and when to do it and how. And no, it doesn't work like that. We surrender our vision over. Now, initially, when I think of the word surrender, I think of the Wizard of Oz, and I think of Dorothy when she wrote the Wicked Witch when she wrote in the sky, surrender Dorothy, and Dorothy's determined and going, there's no way I'm surrendering. So when I first thought of surrender, I thought, oh boy, I don't know about surrender. But why do we surrender? Because we have to let it go. We have to let it go out into the ethers so that it can come back to us in form, right? Unless you let it go, it's just like going to the restaurant. When you give the waiter your order, the only way you're going to get that ham sandwich is if he turns that order into the kitchen. But if he hasn't had the opportunity to turn it into the kitchen, you're not going to get your ham sandwich. I think I'm hungry. I keep talking about food. So, you know, you have to trust in the power that says, just surrender it over to me. We'll figure out how to do it. You don't have to figure out that part. We don't tell God how, but we do tell God what. What is it that I want? It's not our inner wisdom that got us into the pickle that we're in. It's not our inner wisdom that got us into this pickle. Whatever challenge you're facing, it's not happening because of your inner wisdom. It's happening because you didn't listen to your inner wisdom. And that takes a lot of energy, doesn't it? Like, la, 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 I'm not listening. Sometimes our messages are so loud that we miss the point. I can't believe I have 2 minutes left. Oh my goodness. Skip to change. Skip to change. Ask yourself, am I spending more energy on my vision or more energy on my problem? I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm going through something, I could sit there and talk for hours about all the stuff that's going on that's not working out. And that's not helping anybody, is it? What happens is we shift from that to belief, shift to believing. You know what? Don't let what hasn't happened in your life determine what's going to happen in the future. Just because something didn't happen before, go, oh, that was me a long time ago. But I do have to work in a little analogy about the garage sale, for Mark's sake, that is. We're having a garage sale coming up in a couple weeks. And so I know some of you have been clearing out some of your items from your closet, which is great. I've been doing the same. I had no idea how many pillows I had, but I have a lot of pillows. Well, now somebody else will have a lot of pillows instead of me. But have you done it for your thoughts? Have you cleared out your mind and your thoughts? Because sometimes we need to clear that out, that mental picture that we're giving the universal mind called the tailor. He's going to make this clothing for us out of our thoughts. And unless we give him a nice, rich, wonderful cloth, we're not going to be happy with the life that we have. So in closing, I want to remind you just one thing. We are the master of our own thinking. We're the
Sundays is what our mission statement is. And I'm going to ask you to actually listen to these words and understand this is our true mission to do, which is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the lives of all we serve. It's a noble mission. And we get messages from time to time that share with us how we're doing with that. And this one is short. It even says, I have a brief note. I had the most wonderful experience at Arrowhead. The workshops were so engaging, and I learned so much from so many voices. I loved that there were so many people from other centers. I know that I will continue to remember different parts of the long weekend as time goes on, because so many phrases and experiences come to me still. I'm so glad we were able to go to Arrowhead Retreat this year and that I decided to go. And I thank you. That's wonderful. So this is the prayer that we accompany with our offering, and I invite you to say with me, divine love consecrates this gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my treasure, and I give my gift with love. And so it is.
People get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, no, you just thank the Lord. People get ready, there's a train to Jordan. It's picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is key, open the door and board them. There's hope for all among the loved the most. Yeah. There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have a pity on those whose choices grow thinner. There's no hiding place among the kingdom's throne. No hiding place. No hiding place. So people get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no ticket, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, no, you just thank the Lord. There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have a pity on those whose choices grow thinner. There's no hiding place among the kingdom throne. No hiding place. No hiding place. So people get ready. There's a train. There's a train a-coming. Choo, 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 choo. Choo, choo, choo. Get on board, all of y'all. Yeah, yeah. Get on board. Woo! Yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Michael Paul Smith. Thank you, Michael. And let's thank Andy, our amazing music director. Let's thank all our sound and video people back there that keep us all going. Thank you so much. So this is the close of our service, and we welcome you. If you have any prayers that you would like, please call us. Please let us know. There are practitioners available, and we appreciate your prayers for our center and for our awesome Dr. Moira, who is on the mend. She is on the mend, and let's just keep sending her prayers and love and energy. And so now with closing, we're going to have our prayer that should be up on there. There we go. And so let's read together. I know divine love enfolds me, divine light leads me, divine life lives in me, divine wisdom inspires me, divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life, there is only God, there is only God, there is only God, and so it is. Please stand for our peace song. Do we want